Hey everybody, I'm Verna from stampinnotes.com. It is a Wednesday and it is time for a Farm Fresh card. If you don't know me, my name is Verna Mullen. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in rural western New York State on a farm outside of two small towns, or between two small towns, Canisteo, New York and Greenwood, New York. So thanks for joining me today. I have a few things to tell you about. We are having a seasonal sale. It was yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and you are going to not want to miss this. It is a gem. All of our cardstock is 10% off. All of our stamp pads, ink pads are 15% off. And all of our dies in the annual catalog are 20% off. So that's quite a deal. If you are a demonstrator under me, then you are going to get that discount in addition to your demonstrator discount, which is 20% off and sometimes more. So you don't want to miss out on this. And that's today and tomorrow. You can use, if you decide to order from me, you can use host code. This is the host code right here. Oh, it looks like my screen is frozen. And I hope that is the case. There we go. And tomorrow. Excuse me while I mute that. So if you want to order with me and you use the current host code 4V39B6KR, on orders of $50 or more, I will send you a free pack of the lovely holiday rhinestones. And my blog is at vernastamps.stampinup.net. That is my Stampin' Up! Ordering website, and my blog is stampinnotes.com, and there's an order link there. And if you would like to join my team, man, now I have never seen such a great deal. You get to pick $125 worth of product for just $75 plus tax. Now is a great time to buy the starter kit, and that is through the end of November. So let me show you the card that we're going to work on. I'm going to show you today. I had posted these. I had a lot of comments on them, and I want to show you how I made them. This is my customer thank you for recent orders, and I've used a Christmas season stamp set, and the sentiment is from Symmetry stamp set, and I don't have that right here at the moment, but as you see with this stamp set, there are a lot of beautiful images but no sentiments, and this has great dies with it too that cut these images out. So this is a two-step stamping set, and I'm going to show you how to do that. The inside has a pine cone and some greenery. So let's get started. The first thing I did was I cut a piece of soft succulent cardstock. It's 8.5 by 5.5. It is scored at 4 1/4. And I'm going to score it or burnish it with my bone folder like this and give it a good crease. Now I'm going to bring in my trimmer and I'm going to cut off 1 inch from the front flap. I'll grab that. And this is our trimmer. Mine is very well used and well loved. I'm going to put it on the 1 inch on this side, or you could do it this way and line it up here at 1 inch. But it's a little easier to do it this way. And then it has two blades. It has a scoring blade. It also has a cutting blade. And we're going to use the cutting blade and we're going to cut off 1 inch from that. Just like that. So our card now looks like this. Then I'm going to bring in my Big Shot, and I am going to use one of the scallop contour dies. I'll show you which one here. This has got to be my new favorite die set. Beautiful rectangular die cuts. You've got scalloped edges on them. These are all different sizes so you can layer them. And this goes with, can't remember the stamp set it goes with, but there's a flower image, and it's something about in contour. I don't think that's right. I'll try to post that so you know which one it is. But this is the die I'm going to use, and this may be a set that you want to grab right now. It would be 20% off today and tomorrow. So it's just a beautiful die set to have. So I'm going to use this on this edge, and we're going to make a beautiful scalloped edge. So let me grab the Big Shot. It is right here, and this is going to be close, so I hope that it won't be too close. What's nice is this plate right here, the bottom plate tells you what layers of folders or cutting pads you need to use when you're doing different things. So for dies, we're going to use this one, which is number 2, and you can see mine are very well used. We're going to use a clear plate, which mine is all scratched up, very used again, very well used. And then we're going to put our paper that we want to die cut. And I'm going to grab my scallop die, and I'm going to lay it along the edge, and you want to make sure it's the same distance at the top and bottom. Yes, Lucy. Oh, hello, girls. Lucy and Margaret. Yes, this is in the annual catalog. Okay, so as a demonstrator, you would get 40% off. You'd get your 20% off demonstrator discount, and then you get another 20% off for being 20% off on sale. Now, one of my other favorite tools that I love to use is this Post-it tape. And I'm just going to take a piece of that. I'm going to get this lined up here where I want it. Probably about like that. I'm just going to tape that down to hold that in place. I'm going to put my top layer on and crank it through. Hopefully I don't move the phone too much. Thank you for sharing. Okay. So now we have that beautiful scallop edge on our card. Let me get this out of here. And carefully pull this off. All right, so isn't that beautiful? Now, I probably should have, I'm not going to worry about it, but it's nice to make these the same. So it would have been nice to move this one up a little so it was just a half a one, so they were even. But it's still pretty, and we're still going to use it. So this is a card that I posted in Kylie and Bruno Bertucci's International Demonstrator blog hop, training blog hop. All right, so we've got that die cut, and now I'm going to do the stamping. I'll show you how I did the stamping on the front. And this is a 3x4 inch piece of the basic white cardstock. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a mask for my pine cone die so that I can cover it and stamp over it without getting the images on the front of the pine cone. If you can see on this one, I've covered it so you don't have all of this pine image on it there. So I'm going to grab a Post-it. And I'm just going to tear a piece off here. Now this is the sticky part of the Post-it. And I want to stamp my pine cone so that there's a lot of sticky on the back of it. And I'm just going to use a crumb cake here. I'm going to bring in my largest image, which is this one. And just tap, and it doesn't have to be really fancy or anything, because we're going to cut it and just use it for a mask. Okay, so, and I am not going to do like a really detailed cut around it. I'm just kind of going in and out like this, like that. Oops, it doesn't have to be perfect. I took my mom to the chiropractor today, and I went also. I was really out of whack, and it was nice to feel a little better. Okay, so we've got our mask made. Before we stamp the pine cone, I'm going to stamp some greenery on this, and I'm using this large image here. And I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper. And I'm going to use soft sea foam. Well, I thought I brought it over here, and must be I didn't. I'm going to grab it. Okay, so tap, tap, tap. And I'm going to make one on here like this. At Wegmans, we stopped at Wegmans today, and they just have beautiful greenery out now. Pine wreaths and potted pine and all kinds of things. Beautiful pine. All right, and now I'm going to bring in my large pine cone die or stamp. And this is the one that I made the mask with, and I'm going to stamp the pine cone in crumb cake. Okay, and I'm going to just tap lightly. Oh, I've got something on my computer I gotta move. There we go. Thank you so much for sharing and commenting, ladies. All right, so I think I want the pine cone going up a little bit. And we'll stamp that on there, and you can see some of the greenery underneath, but it's not gonna show by the time we get all of our stamping on there. And now I'm going to bring in soft suede. And this is the second step. There's a smaller, large image, and this is going to go over this. And we're going to fill that in with a little bit of the dark outside pine cone look. So that looks about right. And that adds a lot to it. All right, so I'm going to add some pine boughs. And now I'm going to bring in that mask that we made, or I made. I'm just going to put it right over my pine cone like that. And it will stick to it because of the stickiness on the back of the Post-it. And I am using Evening Evergreen for the pine boughs. This is one of my favorite greens. I go to this green a lot. I really love it. And stamp. Okay, so this is my pine sprig here. And I'm going to come down like this. I think I'm going to bring another one out like that. I'm going to go this way. And up a little higher. And I'm going to bring some off the back of the pine cone like this. Okay, and I think I want one more sprig of it. Maybe going just a little longer at the bottom here. Okay, and I'm gonna use, there's like a branch for the berries, and I'm using Mossy Meadow to stamp that. I meant to order some, I placed an order today and I meant to order some newer ink pads and I forgot. So I guess we won't worry about it. Okay, and this is the image for the berries, and I want this going down probably like this. And then the little berries I'm going to do in real red. And I don't know, I haven't figured out how to exactly line this one up, and maybe this doesn't go with this, but you would think the way this is, it does. So I'm going to show you what I do with it. So I'm going to line up these three bottom, two of the bottom ones there like that. I'm going to come over like this. And I figure it doesn't matter that there's extra berries in there. And we've got one little branch right there. All right, so I have these extra berries down in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Mossy Meadow marker and draw a branch up and grab that. This is a Stampin' Right marker. And I'm just going to take this like this. And go like this here. Okay, let's remove our pine cone mask. There, isn't that pretty? All right, I'm going to stamp the sentiment up here. And I'm using Evening Evergreen again. And this says, thanks so much. This is a clear black from one of the paper pumpkins, or the regular kits. Yeah, I could put in, I don't know, I put in a couple orders, so we're gonna put in, thanks so much. And now I'm gonna layer this. Well, let's do the rest of our stamping and then we'll put the card together. So for the inside, this is 2 3/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm just gonna stamp one of the smaller pine cones down here in the corner. And that is right here. And I'm gonna use crumb cake. I'm going to put that there. And then there's a smaller image for this smaller pine cone, and I'm going to do that in soft suede. Over that. And what I try to line up is the tops. If you line up the top of the cone with the second level stamp with the top of the cone, that's the pine cone that's already stamped, then it seems to look pretty good that way. All right, and I'm going to bring in, I have a small mask for this. Grab that and lay that on there. You can see I've used that several times before. And we're bringing in our branches. There's another branch image that has 2 branches on it that you can use too. I'm gonna go like that and that. No berries on this. All right, so let's put our card together. We're gonna layer the 3 by 4 inch piece of basic white image that was stamped onto our 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 of Evening Evergreen. And I'm using Seal. And I always use this with it because if I have trouble getting it to roll right, if you start it on the mat, it will move right onto your cardstock. If you're running it and you go like this at the end, that usually guarantees it's going to start okay the next time you want to roll the tape. Okay, and then for the inside, I have a piece of Designer Series paper. This is from the Painted Season DSP that goes with this stamp set. And this is just a very light mint color. I'm going to do a couple runs of the tape on the back of it. It's 1 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I will have a link to my blog for the dimensions and the supplies for this card. I've got a little glue hanging out there. And I want this all the way over to the end, like so. And then my basic white is going to be next to that. Then this leaves you room. You can space it a little bit apart from the designer series paper here and from the where the crease is. Then your card folds over like that. And this is going to go on the front. So we want to only put the adhesive on the left side, back of the left of the front. There's kind of a mouthful. So just right here. And I think one more. All right. Okay, so we're going to center this. On the front, just like that. All right, so that's what our card looks like, and we need to add some gems, and I'm using the holiday rhinestones. I love these because you can use these any time of year. I'm going to put 3 on here, and I'm using the green. And I love to use my Take a Pick tool to pick them up with this putty end. And that's our card for today. So thanks so much for joining me. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, thumbs up is always appreciated. And I hope you have a great day, and I'll be back next week. Take care. Thanks, Margaret.